You want to ask all the questions?
Let me see. Let me pull up my analytics here. Okay. Yeah.
When you see that you guys are whatever number one over 5 games playing defense, is there anything you guys have done differently schematically, or is it just effort, or is it just?
We've changed a couple of things, yeah, and I think it's worked out great. You know, the things that we've changed. You know, we felt like we could be a certain kind of team defensively, and you know, it wasn't working. So, as coaches, what you do is you sit down and you talk about it and see if there's something else that we may do. And basically, what we did is we looked at like the top 5 or 6 teams and how they do certain things, and there was a constant there, and that's kind of what we adjusted to.
And how much does Derek being as solid as he is on defense allow you guys to play BI at the 4 more often?
Well, no, that's a really good thought right there, and that's why we do it. I mean, with him out there, obviously it allows us a better rebounder. You know, and plus he's just so smart defensively. He's done this before. You know, we're a much different defensive team with him on the floor, but it does allow us to play Brandon at that position because it didn't put a whole lot of emphasis on the physicality part of it. And, you know, obviously, you know, if you play Derek 25 minutes, he's going to some kind of way end up with 10 rebounds for us also.
Offensively, things kind of slowed down a little bit, though. Your pace is down over this 5-game stretch. Your offensive rating is down, but it seems like it might fit these guys a little bit more as they're still trying to learn.
Yeah, but not really. I think what we've done is that we've slowed down a little bit, but it's not that fact. I think we've taken a lot of tough, you know, challenge 2-point shots, and that's not, you know, that's not what you want to. That's what we try to force. We try to force challenge 2s. Well, we're going to do that defensively. We can't try to live on those offensively. So we've got to spread the floor more. We've got to be able to. We've got to finish better at the basket. We've gotten the ball to the basket and haven't finished at a great rate. But we still got to play at a good pace because that's where we are offensively. Just to give you a stat, you know, in transition offense, we're number 6 in the league. In half-court offense, we're number 22. So, you know, when people say that you should run more half-court stuff, you know, like in articles and stuff, they might want to check the analytical part of that, okay? Just throwing that out there, okay?
Coach, when you talk about pace, a lot of people just think about running up and down the court. But part of that pace is the way the ball sticks in people's hands or does not stick.
Exactly, yeah.
Having Derek on the floor, it seems like having an extra passer in the post, somebody who can kick it out and recognize those things.
Makes all the difference in the world, yeah. And that's the whole part of it, like you said, you know, playing at a fast pace, it still means ball movement. You know, we're not an ISO team, and, you know, I think I had to take a timeout really in the Denver game because we got into a situation sometimes when we start to struggle, we get into these ISO situations. I think you know, that's the things that hurt us. So before we kind of got into that situation, I took a timeout and said, we got to keep playing because when we play all the way through and we have the ball movement and we have the people movement, you know, we're just a much better team that way.
Does it feel like Lonzo is just getting a little more comfortable in his role with this team and what he needs to do to be effective?
I think so. I think what he's done is that he's really pushed the basketball, the pace of it. You know, I mean, he had a couple of plays that, you know, that we would like for him to have a lot more of. The play that he had for Jackson, you know, where he pushed the ball so hard that he really sucked the whole defense on the baseline and gave it right back to Jackson for a dunk. I think those are the kind of things that I can see that we should have more of those kind of plays. Because if he's pushing the pace of it and we're running, I think we'll create some of those plays.
Derek did 8 assists in that game in Denver, as David kind of said, but when you can just like kick to a guy on the pick and roll and he's going down, a big guy like that, what does that just do for your offense?
Well, I think it opens it up because I think you can see that the ones that they didn't pull in on, he just simply caught it and dunked it. So I think he's also a pretty good decision maker there, and he's really good at catching it and understanding that there's a guy right here, the corner has to be open. Excuse me. So he immediately throws the ball to the corner, and we either have a shot or we go pass for a shot. Josh Hart made a big three for us because Faye went to the corner and then they rotated and we threw it right back to him and he had the shot. So we just got to play that way, just the consistency of it. I think our defense has been, really solid the last 4 or 5 games, and now we got to get our offense to the point where we're eliminating those long twos. I mean, we took 20 of them. Our goal is to take 12 of them. If you take 20 of them, I think, that's 8 times you're shooting not a very high percentage shot, really.
Malone said that you guys outworked them, that you played harder than they did. When you're a team that was 7-23, 8-20, whatever, how encouraging is that to hear from an opposing coach to know that your guys have not given up in any way? And where do you kind of credit that?
I think the biggest thing on that trip, the whole trip, was that you're playing in Denver the last game. Everyone knows how difficult it is to play there. To come to the fact that we're playing at a Mile High. It's the last game on the trip. I thought they played and locked in. I thought defensively we were really good. I thought offensively, we tried to do some things. Obviously, we got caught. After we took care of the turnovers, we had 9 turnovers the first 8 minutes of the game. And so we had 10 the rest of the way. So as long as we manage our turnovers and give ourselves an opportunity to set our defense, I think we've been pretty good. Now we got to do the same offensively where shot selection, we just got to do a little bit better job of the shot selection department.
Look at the 2 games this weekend, 2 very different styles of play. What challenges does Indiana present? And then having to bounce back and play against, the individual brilliance of a guy like a James Harden.
Well, I think with Indiana, they take on the personality of their coach, and they're just going to be, Nate is a grinded out guy. That's lasted 15, 16 years in the league. And so they're going to grind it out. Sabonis and those guys are going to be very physical. They don't shoot a lot of three-point shots. I think, as a matter of fact, they're 29th in the league, I think, in three-pointers attempted or something. But they're efficient at what they do. And so you'll have to be really solid. They don't make very many mistakes. And then if you talk about Harden, there's not a whole lot to say about that. The fact that he shot 1 free throw the other night, I thought was absolutely incredible, But he's gonna, he puts a lot of pressure on your defense. I think 8-point games, 50-point games this year, and a 60-point game. So I think you got to try to limit what he can do, but you also can't let those other guys get off and all of a sudden have 15, 16, 18 points, and then, Westbrook end up with another 30-point game. Then I think they're really difficult.
There's a chance in this game against there could be 3 holidays on the court. Have you ever seen anything like that?
No, I have not, and I thought that's it is, and you probably will at some stage see 3 holidays on the court. And I don't think that's ever been done in the NBA. I mean, I've a couple of brothers, a couple of twins, but never 3 brothers at the same time on an NBA court. So I mean, it would be something, that I know that parents got to be extremely proud of. The fact that, you got 3 boys and all of them are playing in the NBA. That's pretty amazing thing.
And just getting to know that family, I guess. What do you kind of take from them and kind of say, okay, I can see how those boys made it to the league?
Well, I just think all you need to do is meet the parents. If you meet the mom and the dad, it really isn't a surprise that these guys are, that their sons are where they are right now. I think they've done an outstanding job, and to me, I'm familiar with all 3 of them, so it's not so much the athletic thing, it's the kind of kids that they are, the kind of person that they are. They've done a great job in that department, but they also have created 3 really good athletes. When you have the ability to be an NBA player and play at a high level, those guys have, had great games in Indy, and obviously we know who Drew is. When you're able to do that, I think it says a lot. But it all starts with the parents, and I think, the dad is a tremendous athlete. He comes out here and works out, and they're throwing alley-oop passes to a 56-year-old guy. So that's all you need to know about that, and then you can see where they get all of that from. And the mom was a great athlete also. So.
Did you talk to Coach Kerr after he said, he'd planned this unusual defense against James? Have you given him a holler and said?
Yeah, I thought I thought what they did was amazing. I really did. You know, the fact that I think the biggest thing in that game was that if you go back and look, and the fact that he shot one free throw, you know, one free throw, I think that's, I mean, it's truly amazing. You know, I mean, but what they did worked. You know, I mean, obviously they won the game, but I would say it was ballsy to say the least. You know?
Do you see any? You were talking about Nate. Do you see any of the same attributes in Jamel that you see in Nate?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think both of them are. You know, Jamel, coach his age, got all the respect in the world from the players. You can go around to every individual player; they'll tell you. I think there's a toughness about him.
Be open up that front. Yep.
move up further?
Yeah, I'll move up.
Okay. Sorry.
You come off a very successful road trip. A lot of times the teams talk about bonding on the road, that pulling a team together. How much did this road trip go in pushing this team forward and showing what the results can be?
Right. I think we built a lot this road trip. Obviously, starting off with a good win after the streak was broken, or breaking that streak, and then just being able to come out. I mean, 3 out of the 4, and possibly we could have went 4-4. So I think just over Christmas time, sometimes you miss family, but we kind of treat each other like family, and from there we just kind of bonded. So that plus the wins was a great trip.
Speaking about families, it'll be a big game for you. Tomorrow, it's all 3 of you can be there. What is that going to mean to have all of you guys together?
Yeah, in one game, that's cool. That's really cool. Hopefully the next thing is we probably play on the same team, all 3 of us. But I'm really excited. My family's already out here. I think I guess I'm excited just to play against them both together on the court at the same time. That's never been done before in my family just because of the age gap. So pretty excited to play against them.
How much did Justin, if at all, consult with you about before he signed with the Pacers, teaming up with Aaron? Is that a discussion on your text chain or anything like that?
A little bit. Again, I think it was more so him handling it as a professional and doing it how he wanted to do it. There was a possibility, and that's kind of where it was left out to me. And I think even a little bit to my little brother, where like it was a strong possibility. But honestly, I think he wanted to be like more of a surprise, which is super cool. But yeah, it's pretty cool they're on the same team.
How much have your parents been enjoying this, where they probably are just shuttling back and forth between Indy and New Orleans?
I mean, that makes it easier, but they've always enjoyed just traveling to see their kids play. But just 2 stops now instead of 3, and then you get to see 2 guys at one place. It just makes it a lot easier. But yeah, man, it's really cool.
What do you think it's going to be like for them to see 3 in one place? I mean, all 3 of you guys. I mean, it could be on the same court at the same time. I mean, that's never been done.
Hopefully it's cool. I'm gonna be on the court. So I guess as my parents, I feel like that's really just a blessing and something cool that a lot of parents probably can't say. So
One of the things you talked about with this team was that even during the losing streak, the locker room didn't separate. Now that you are having this success and starting to build upon it, what's the mood like with the team?
Still pretty positive, winning feels good. It's way better than losing. So just to be able to come into work every day and know like we're getting the rhythm and on the court and being able to sustain that and coming down to close games and getting wins, again, it just builds and builds from there.
Ask you a little bit about what gives you on the glass and defense, but he had 8 assists in that game in Denver. What does that just do for you when your center can make plays out of pick and roll or whatever?
We have to do a lot. He had to guard Jokic. If I get beat, I ask him to protect me. He has to clean up the rim. And then at the end of the day, he still has to make plays offensively, not only for himself, but for other people. So we asked him a great deal, and he's been doing a great job about it without complaining or anything. He takes care of business every day. So, just the ultimate professional, really.
Who do you credit for not fracturing? It is so easy to break apart when things are going wrong. Is there anything in particular you guys did, or?
Not really. I just feel like there's characters on this team. A mixture of vets with some good and okay rookies, and then some good middle of the way middle ground guys. So a lot of guys who've been through stuff, and a lot of guys that have known gone 12-0 or 0-12, been in both situations. So I just think our character and our personalities kind of match up to where we really just want to hoop and play, and we don't have any selfish players. So to be able to come out and play as hard as we can every game, I feel like that's always been the goal.
When you hear from an opposing coach, you guys are on the end of an 8-day road trip, you hear from an opposing coach and you guys outworked them pretty badly on the road in altitude. What does that say about this group, particularly, trying to claw back into contention here?
Yeah, man. I feel like I've been saying it all season. We don't really ever back down. I feel like our character together has always been super strong, and we've always bonded on that. So it says a lot that, especially a road trip like this, which was very long, and glad that we're home. It just means that I guess we're becoming meshing more on the court, and it's becoming more comfortable.
So having Derek Favors back is obviously so crucial to the defense, but what else can you pinpoint maybe that's changed to make you guys that much more effective on that end?
I think offensively we flow. Again, the way he makes plays out of the pocket or even makes plays for himself. Offensive and defensive rebounding, I know we struggled there for a little bit, but with him under there, I feel like we have a solid like statue standpoint under there to be able to rebound and progress defensively or offensively. And then, again, like I said, he's just done so much for us.
On the perimeter, what are you doing? You guys are contesting shots better. You're forcing teams into positions where they don't want to be. What was the adjustments there for the guards and the wings in order to utilize what Derek does on the back end? How are you guys accentuating that?
I think there's always a confidence when you know that somebody's going to, if you make a mistake, somebody's going to recover for you, and I feel like Derek kind of takes that load off of us. So to play more comfortably, sometimes if I get beat off a closeout or whatever it is, I know that if it's Derek or somebody's going to be there. I think Jackson's been doing a great job. I think when Jalil got in, he's played great from a big standpoint. But even guards, I feel like we load the nail and we do a good job of playing off of each other, being able to try to keep people out the paint. So.
What was behind getting all the guys' seats? How long did that go in the works?
For a minute. I mean, I know everybody on our team. I mean, y'all know it too. We all like to look good. I mean, we all got our own little style. So I think just to be able to go in there and kind of customize your own suit and put your own little style to it or flavor to it is personally a pretty good present. So.
Drew, what stands out to you about your all-season workouts when all three of you are able to work, for the most part, together? How maybe?
Are you talking about my brothers?
Correct. Yeah, I'm going back. How much you push one another? I know Justin wasn't there much this summer, but what stands out to you about those challenges with one another?
That's pretty normal to me. To be completely
When did
honest.
it become normal? Has it always been that way? Yeah.
I mean, we've been doing this since we were. I think the first time I touched the ball, I might have been 4. I've been doing it with my older brother for my whole life, and then it's kind of like my little sister kind of just went into it, and then my little brother, seeing 3 other people ahead of him do it, it's literally been like that my whole life. So missing Christmases or Thanksgiving, being apart, or even somewhat being together because we played together, it's just always been life for us ever since little kids. So.
Alonzo's had a lot of improvement defensively over this last stretch. What are you seeing out of him? You saw that kind of stuff the previous 2 years with him. He struggled out of the gate, but what's been the change that you can see in him?
I just think it's comfortability. Being able to find niches where he can get steals and play his type of defense within our defense. And I feel like once we figured that out and try to pack the paint and keep our paint and then contest, man, he's really good.
Thanks.
Thank you.
How's Lauren?